Iraq economic news and points to ponder Sunday afternoon, December 14, 24. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. The Central Bank and the Securities Commission sign a joint memorandum of understanding to enhance cooperation. Economy, December 15, 2024. Mawazin News. Baghdad. The Securities Commission announced today, Sunday, the signing of a joint memorandum of understanding with the Central Bank to enhance cooperation. The Deputy Chairman of the Securities Commission, Naghim Hussein Ismail, told the official agency, based on the joint cooperation between government institutions, and in view of the desire of the Securities Commission and the Central Bank of Iraq to create a joint cooperative framework for both parties that contributes to achieving the goals of sustainable development in the banking sector, a memorandum of understanding was signed between the two parties. She added that, signing the agreement came to enhance cooperation between the two parties in the field of information related to shareholders, and to benefit from the electronic window for the shareholders system approved by the Iraq Stock Exchange. Al-Sudani discusses with Al-Hassan plans for economic reform and fighting corruption in Iraq. Politics, December 15, 2024. Mawazin News. Baghdad Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani discussed, today, Sunday, with the Special Representative of the Secretary-General of the United Nations, Mohammed al-Hassan, plans for economic reform and combating corruption in Iraq. A statement from his media office received by Mawazin News stated that, al-Sudani received the Special Representative of the Secretary-General of the United Nations in Iraq, Mohammed al-Hassan, to review the relations and joint programs between Iraq and the international organization, and to discuss the latest developments in the situation in Syria. He added that, the meeting discussed the government's efforts to complete economic reform plans, combat corruption and other sectors according to the government program, and the government's positions that enhance stability and development in Iraq. In another context, the two sides discussed the latest developments in the region, and in Syria in particular, where al-Sudani stressed Iraq's support for the unity of Syrian lands, preserving civil peace, minority rights, social, cultural and ethnic diversity, non-interference in internal affairs, and helping the Syrians overcome this difficult stage. For his part, al-Hassan praised the government's steps in the areas of reform, and the strides it has made in the fields of development, in addition to the clear position on the events in Syria, and the readiness to help the Syrian people, and provide relief to the Lebanese and Palestinian peoples. Dollar stabilizes in Baghdad, declines in Erbil as stock exchange closes. Economy, December 15, 2024. Mawazin News. Baghdad. The US dollar exchange rate stabilized against the Iraqi dinar in Baghdad markets on Sunday, while it declined slightly in Erbil, the capital of the Kurdistan region, with the closing of the stock exchange. The dollar exchange rate stabilized with the closing of the two main stock exchanges in Baghdad, Al-Kifa and Al-Harithia, recording 150,800 dinars per $100, the same price it recorded this morning. The selling prices stabilized in exchange shops in local markets in Baghdad, where the selling price reached 152,000 dinars per $100, while the purchase price reached 150,000 dinars per $100. In Erbil, the dollar recorded a slight decline, where the selling price reached 150,200 dinars per $100, and the purchase price reached 150,100 dinars per $100. Oil prices hit three-week high. Sunday the 15th of December 2024. 9:18. Economic number of readings, 173. Baghdad, Nina, Brent crude oil prices rose last week to their highest levels since November 22, up 5% on a weekly basis. West Texas Intermediate crude rose 6% on a weekly basis and achieved their highest levels since November 7. During trading last Friday, Brent crude futures rose by $1.08, or 1.5%, to $74.49 per barrel at settlement, and U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures rose by $1.27, or 1.8%, to $71.29. Analysts at consulting firm Ritter Bush & Associates said that what drove this rise were expectations of tightening sanctions on Russia and Iran, more supportive Chinese economic guidance, Political unrest in the Middle East, and speculation of a U.S. interest rate cut next week. K. Advisor to the Prime Minister for Investment Affairs, Executive Director of the Iraq Development Fund, Mohammed al-Najjar. Money and Business Economy News. Baghdad. The Iraq Development Fund confirmed on Sunday that the government pays great attention to developing the health sector. While pointing to the launch of 3 investment opportunities in the medical field, and seeking to develop it with the participation of the private sector. The director of the Iraq Development Fund and advisor to the Prime Minister for Investment Affairs, Mohammed al-Najjar, said in a statement reported by the official news agency and reviewed by Al-Iqtisad News, that the government pays great attention to the health sector, given the urgent need to develop it and improve its services. Al-Najjar explained that the Iraq Development Fund is working to invest with the private sector to develop this vital sector, noting that 3 investment opportunities have been launched to establish 3 investment companies in the medical field, where the fund participates as a partner with 20% of the capital, with the aim of stimulating and attracting foreign and local investors to expand the volume of investments in this field. He added that current investments depend largely on Iraqi individual capabilities, and we seek to expand them by establishing companies that will work in the required medical specialties, with the aim of reducing reliance on treatment outside Iraq. He stressed that these companies seek to provide medical services similar to those provided abroad, in cooperation with the private sector, in order to meet the needs of citizens and provide an advanced treatment environment within the country. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: Dinar Recaps.